today's video we're going to be looking at comparatives. What comparatives do, how we form them, and when do you use them. These are two main areas we're going to look at. So normally comparatives go hand in hand with superlatives. They are very, very similar areas in Spanish, but we're not going to look at them in one video because it's a bit much. So we're going to split it up into two videos, and this video is just going to be looking at comparatives. I'm not going to look at how to form them just yet because I think that's a bit difficult. So first we're going to look at when to use them. How to form them, it's not impossible, it's a bit challenging. When to use them is probably a better place to start. Nice and easy. Comparatives is when you want to compare two things. So my brother is taller than me. She is smellier than a wet pig. All of these things are comparatives. In English, it's often more plus adjective plus than, or less plus adjective plus than. So when to use them? It's nice and easy. So you're comparing two things. So, nice and easy for how to... Sorry, that should have been... Smiley face should be on when to use them. So let's have a look at how to form them. So comparatives on how to form comparatives. There are three types of comparatives. You say more than something, less than something, or as something as. So more intelligent than me, less intelligent than me, as intelligent as me. We'll go through them one by one in English and Spanish so as not to overwhelm you. So the first one, more... so let's say more intelligent than in English. So an adjective, obviously here, your adjective is your describing word. So more, let's replace adjective, intelligent than. He is more intelligent than me. So how do we do it in Spanish? Nice and easy. You'd say más, adjective, que. Literally more, adjective, than. So in this case it would be es más inteligente que yo. So he is more intelligent than me. Nice and easy. So let's look at less intelligent than. If you want to say less plus your adjective plus than in Spanish, really, really easy. You replace the más with menos. So you'd say es menos inteligente que yo. So that means he is less intelligent than me. And finally, as intelligent as. So he is as intelligent as me. Remember, an adjective is a describing word. It's a word that describes a noun. You'd say tan, you say es tan inteligente como yo. So the interesting thing about this one to note is that it's como and not que if you want to say as, and it's tan. So as intelligent as me. So it's not tan inteligente tan, it's tan inteligente como. Okay. That would be quite a useful screen to print off. If you're not going to print it off, it's fine, but make a note of it somewhere because that, in a nutshell, is how you do your three comparatives in Spanish. There is one very important thing to note here where we differ in Spanish from English. The adjective must agree with the noun that it is describing. Okay, I'm going to say that again. The adjective must agree with the noun that it is describing. That just means that if the adjective is referring to a feminine plural noun, your adjective has to be in the feminine plural form. Remember, in Spanish, adjectives have to agree in number and gender. If you are a bit confused at this point, don't panic. Pause the video, make a note of that rule. What we're going to do is we're going to go through the rest of the video, and hopefully when you see it in action it will become a bit clear. But it's a really, really important rule that you have that rule. You always remember your adjective must agree with the noun that it's describing. Most people, when they're doing comparatives in Spanish for the first time, that's where they fall down. They forget that that's the case. So we've looked at how to form them, and I got my smiley face in the right place this time. How about when to use them? Oh no, I got my smiley face the wrong round. We should be confused about forming them and happy about using them. Soz about that, guys, never mind. So let's have a look at some examples. So remember we looked here and we got a bit confused. We decided we weren't super clear on what all this meant. So let's put it into practice now. So you've made a note of the rules. You've made a note of how it's done, the sort of the template, the formula, if you will. What you're going to do now is you're going to test that formula and see how well you understand it. Have a go at these 8 sentences. Go to wordreference.com to get the vocabulary. These are 8 really useful sentences that I think give you, by the end, you get to the end of them, will give you a really clear idea of how well you understand it. What I'm going to do in a sec is I'm going to go through the first one just to make sure you're on the right track and just to give you a bit of confidence to show you how it looks in practice and to give you, I suppose, that confidence to do the rest. Now, if you are super duper confident that you can do all 8, now will be a good time to pause the video, because I'm about to go through the first one in Spanish. If you're not super confident, keep watching, and then once you've done the first one, then we're going to go back to these 8 sentences, and you can have a go then. So if you're super confident, pause. If you're not super confident, keep watching. Okay, so let's have a look at the first one. So the first one, to say Fernando is less active than a potato, you would say Fernando es menos activo que una patata. Now, it might be useful. You might understand that straight away, you might not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down word by word and show you what each one is doing and how it relates to our rule. So, let's have a look. Fernando es is fairly obvious. That's Fernando is. Menos means less. Remember, we're trying to say Fernando is less active than a potato. Activo is our adjective. And remember, this is what we were talking about. Your adjective has to agree with the noun it describes. Because Fernando is single, refers to a single male, as in there's only one of him, our adjective has to reflect the gender of Fernando, so it's O, and it has to reflect the number of Fernandos that there are. In this case, there's 1, so there's no S on the end. Okay? Hopefully that's super crystal clear. If not, pause the video here and write that down as an example, because that should be real clear, and if it's not, don't worry, just write it down. And this que means than, una patata, a potato. So we've got menos, adjective, que, less active than. So Fernando is less active than a potato. Have a little test, see if you can have a go at how you'd say Fernando is less intelligent than a potato, to see if you can get the whole idea of putting the construction together. Pause the video, by the way. Okay. Okay, welcome back. So if you put Fernando es menos inteligente que una patata, well done. So you replace the activo with inteligente. Once you get your head around it, it's quite easy to do. So, and that's our than. So we've got less, adjective, than a potato. This would be quite a good slide for you to make a note of, actually. This is just the 3 types of comparatives you have and how they work. Remember, these adjectives have to agree with the noun they're describing. Okay, so whatever they're describing, usually at the beginning of the sentence, they have to agree with. Right. Here are the remaining 8 sentences. Feel free to pause the video here if you followed us through on the first one, and have a go at the next 7 and see if you can do them. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully the answers you got looked like that. So I'm going to take you through it because it can be a bit confusing. So we're trying to say for the second one, she is as tall as her brother. So remember, for as and as in Spanish, it's tan, adjective, como. So es, I really should have put ella es, but never mind. Ella es tan alta. Now look here, this alta, the reason it's alta and not alto is because we know, it's because we know here it's a she it's referring to, so this has to be in the feminine singular form. This was there to trick you. Even though it's talking about her brother, which is masculine, the adjective is not describing the brother, the adjective is describing her. So it's es tan alta como su hermano. Okay? So it goes backwards like that. Second one, you are tastier than chicken. I don't know why I thought of that one. So you'd say, eres más delicioso. Now in this one, because it wasn't specified if the U was feminine or masculine, you could have deliciosa. That would be okay. I went delicioso, but deliciosa is fine. What wouldn't be fine is deliciosos or deliciosas, because obviously it's you singular, so you don't need the S, the pluralization of that adjective. Que el pollo. So you are tastier than chicken. So more tasty than chicken. So here we're trying to say our dog is less noisy than the King of Spain. So nuestro, pero nuestro, that's a possessive adjective. It means our, just like remember mi means mine, so mi casa or mi familia. Here we have nuestro, which means our. So nuestro perro, our dog, perro, our dog, es is less noisy than the King of Spain. So again, because perro is masculine singular adjective, and we've got the menos adjective que, so less noisy than. La Ciudad de México es más grande que Tasmania. I haven't actually checked if that's how you say Tasmania in Spanish. My apologies, sloppy workmanship, but do check that actually, don't just assume that's the way. I would guess that is how you say Tasmania, but I could be wrong. Anyway, so Mexico City is bigger than Tasmania, so what we've got here is Mexico City is más grande que, so más, adjective que. Somos tan fuertes como los burros. We are as strong as donkeys. Now, interesting here. Fuertes. See, can you see why it's fuertes and not fuerte? It's fuertes because somos is plural. You're saying we are. So you would we are. So your adjective needs to be in the plural form s. Okay, with that s there. Here we go, number 7. Las chicas son menos peligrosas que Fernando. It's not peligroso because it's not referring to Fernando. It's referring to las chicas, which are obviously feminine plural. So our adjective needs to be in the feminine plural form. Peligrosas, dangerous. Menos, adjective que, less. So less dangerous than. And finally, mi coche es tan rápido como una tortuga. So my car is as fast as a tortoise. Rápido, not rápida, because coche is masculine. Okay. Well done, by the way, if you got that. And yeah, that's great news that you got that. So well done. So I think we've got a smiley face for how to form them, a smiley face for when to use them, and oh no, wait, panic. It's the irregulars. I'm just joking. I'm not joking about the irregulars, there are indeed irregulars, but remember with the irregulars in any point in grammar in Spanish, do not panic, right? There are only 2 irregulars. Look how nice that is, 2 irregulars. And the good news is they're exactly the same as they are in English. In English, you wouldn't say gooder than. You'd say better than. And you wouldn't say badder than, you'd say worse than, okay? Exactly the same in Spanish. So better than in Spanish is mejor plus que. And worse than in Spanish is peor plus que. Okay? That's it. Important things to remember about mejor and peor. They do not agree with the noun they are describing. They are always mejor and always peor. Okay? That might be a good slide to make a note of, or maybe print off. Make a note that mejor que is better than, peor que is worse than. So they do not agree. Okay? So let's put it into practice. Let's see how comfortable you are with the irregular comparatives. Again, what I'm going to do is I'll walk you through the first one, and then you can have a go at the other 3 by yourself. If you're feeling comfortable and you're feeling a bit, you want to get your teeth stuck into it, then pause the video now. If you're not feeling comfortable and you could do with a quick walkthrough, then feel free to carry on watching the video and I'll take you through the first one. Okay, so the first one looks like this. Fernando is worse than cabbage soup. What I've done is I've tried to color code it so it's nice and clear for you. So, Fernando, that much is easy, is S. Worse than, peor que. And then cabbage soup, la sopa de repollo. Now you'll notice that la sopa is feminine, but we haven't gone peora. It doesn't agree. It stays as peor. Fernando es peor que la sopa de repollo. Okay. We don't have any adjective that sits in between the two. We don't have a más o menos. It's just replaced with peor que. Nice and easy. All right, go and have a go at the next 3 and see how you do. Okay. Now would be a good time to pause the video and tackle those other 3. Okay, welcome back. Let's have a look at how you did. Hopefully, you did it like this. Ella es mejor que los chicos. She is better than the boys. But again, it's not mejora, it's just mejor. Soy mejor que tú. I am better than you. No a necessary if it's referring to a woman because it doesn't agree, doesn't agree, doesn't agree, and doesn't agree. Nuestro perro es peor que nuestro gato. Our dog is worse than our cat. Doesn't agree. Always it stays the same. So, well done. That's it from me in comparatives. You've been supery dupery today with this video. Remember, ain't no mountain high enough. It's true. Ain't no river low enough. Sing it, sister. To keep you from learning. So well done, fantastic work today. If at any point you're confused with the comparatives, don't worry, you can download the video, you can go back and look at the parts again, and as always, please subscribe and leave me any comments. If you need any questions or anything you'd like to see more of or less of, just let me know. Okay, well done, you. Yay!